commenting on my family. I have a very dysfunctional family, but I love them and everything that they have helped me accomplish and not accomplish, but they are always on the back, behind me in every way. I love them to death, and I always will till I die. Thank you very much. Love you, family.
All right, I have 30 seconds to rant about family. Okay, and the family that I want to rant about is my family. My family is freaking crazy, okay? This is a mix of Irish. This is a mix of everything out there. Irish, Swedish, German, Italian, whatever. We get together and food flies at our table. You should see Thanksgiving. This is freaking amazing. All these people together and these two families, they can start throwing food and they start yelling and everything goes, it all just goes to hell. 9, 8, 7, okay, I'm done.
I have to talk about my dysfunctional family. How come when you're raised in an Ozzie and Harriet family, they turn out to be just assholes? I can't get over my family. It's all about money. It's not about love. So I'm here down in the gay pride celebration looking for love, even though I'm straight, because my family sucks and they know they're just really the most vicious, evil people in the world.
My name's Francis.
My name is Marna.
We're here to talk about family. Family is very important.
Very important.
We need to stick together, love one another, and love others.
And be happy.
And stay
family
strong.
first.
Yes, and stay strong in the community and help each other out.
I think that family sucks and that they all should get a bigger picture, because I think that when people get in a family, they think it's just their family, but I think everybody's family, and they don't get that. It's just not their family, it's everybody that is your family, I guess.
My father was like, who raised me, you know, met her and said, "You want to get married?" And great. So eventually my dad, who raised me, legally adopted me as his son, kind of took me in. From what my mother said, my dad was more into me than he was his own wife, because he said that's what got him to like be attracted. My mom was me, so go figure. So so I had this father that raised me, and he was a carpenter by trade. And I think the one thing that tripped me out a little bit was God made me a little bit different from the dad who raised me. So, you know, my dad's natural instinct was to raise me as a carpenter and do the things that he did. And he did it, and we got along. But I don't think I was created to do that. And it took me a while to figure that out. And we kind of butted heads a little bit, just on like, just our deal. You know what I mean? And my dad died when I was 18 years old. And, you know, when you become an adult and you start to grow a little bit, you start to wonder, you know, for me, it started to wonder, was like, well, what was my real dad like? You know what I mean? And I had a lot of questions. And as I got older, I think this was maybe 4 years ago, I had a kind of a revelation about my dad. My brother called me one day, and I was actually doing the thing that I was really in love doing. And I realized that God created me for this. And you know, my youngest brother looked up some information about my dad, my biological father, and found out that he was an artist, and that he was a poet, and that he was all these things. And the dad that raised me was a carpenter. And I always felt like I was like the black sheep of the family, because I was always going against the grain, and I always thought differently. And my dad always tried to conform me into, like, does that make sense? He tried to conform me into being the carpenter, but God kind of created me as like an artist. And I had to, for a while there, I had to come to terms with that. And the sad part is my dad died when I was 18, so I didn't really have a chance to talk to him about the things that I knew God created me to do. Because, you know, I got saved in 1998 over on a street corner there. But when you're not saved, you just, I don't know. You kind of walk around blindly, so you don't really know what's wrong at that point. So it was weird just to kind of have a time to realize what God gave me, and also on top of that, just to forgive my dad too, who raised me biologically. You know, my dad who raised me, you know, that it wasn't his fault, and just the turmoil that you go through even as a teenager, I guess. I know the thoughts are kind of sporadic, but yeah, so I got saved 1998 on a street corner, you know, and I think how I ended up here has a lot to do with the way my dad raised me, you know. He did the best that he could, but he wasn't really like seeing the gifts. So for you dads out there, the gifts that your kids have, you need to invest. You need to invest in your kids. You need to say, even though you might not agree on every point, you need to say that I love you, son. You know what I mean? Even if it's a prodigal son, you know, the son wanted to leave with the inheritance. What did the dad say? He said, go. You know, he didn't agree with the decision that the son made, but he still said, go forth, you know. And you might have kids that just don't do what you want to do. You know, you're a pastor and your kids are like, I don't like doing that. Well, you know what? You still can love them. You still can pray for them. But I would say leave room. Like, leave room for them to be able to come back instead of being like stiff-necked and setting up walls. Because, you know, that's what my dad did. And only until the Lord showed me, you know what I mean, that it takes wisdom. So you dads out there, love your kids, even if they're not believers. And if you're not a believer, well, you know what? You need to ask Jesus to forgive you your sin. You need to ask Jesus to come into your life, because there is a hell, and the Bible says that the knowledge of God is the beginning of wisdom, or the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You know, you can't come to Jesus going, you know, he's all-sufficient Savior, he's nice, he's cute and cuddly. He's also a judge. And if you're not right with the Lord, you parents out there, you know what? You need to get right with the Lord. You need to ask him in your heart, like, am I right with the Lord?
Hi. I think parents are great things to have out there in the world. They teach you how to grow up. They teach you all kinds of fun things about life. And they make sure that you're always healthy and happy and go the right way in life.
I love my parents. My mom nice to me. My dad's nice to me. They buy me anything I want. I'm spoiled, and I love them.
My parents, oh boy, my parents suck. They're actually really cool. I just wish they'd open up their minds a little bit about my partner and my life, and how wonderful it is to be a part of a community of giving and loving people in San Francisco, California. Hi, Mom and Dad.
So my opinion on parents is that I know that it really sucks to have them there and to have them on your back 24/7, but I mean, they're there to love you. I mean, like, they're usually going to support you no matter what. Hopefully they will. Hopefully you got blessed with, like, good parents. But I mean, like, honestly, like, if you're smoking weed, they've probably smoked weed already, you know? And they know that what it's like. I mean, they just want you to be safe. Like, they have your best interest at heart. And so, love your parents.
Okay, so my dad is like the most protected person ever. Like, I lied about coming here. Like, really? Like I said, I was going to go to Oakland, and instead I came to San Francisco for like ever. And he's like never lets me do anything. Like, he still tucks me into bed, and I'm 16. Like, really? And he just does everything wrong, and then he feels bad because he was like gone for so long, and he just tries to baby me for it, and it just makes me feel really bad. So that's what I have to say about parents. Oh, and my mom's not even around, so I don't really care about my mom.
You get these parents out there that sit there and they don't care about their children, and then they sit there and they blame their children for what they do. I mean, if you're going to sit there and have a child, at least be man enough and take responsibility for it. I mean, you don't have to sit there and you don't have to spoil your children. You can sit there and there's other ways you can do it without punishing your child for something that you did. You don't want a child, there's adoption agencies. I mean, come on, it's not that hard to sit there and say, hey, I made a mistake, but I'm going to do the best I can to raise my child to be what I want them to be. But if you can't accept your child, then don't take responsibility for it.